Welcome, this is Jace with MakingMemoriesRV.com. Today our special guest is Congressman Ross from Florida's 15th District. He is a member of the RV Caucus. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what the RV Caucus stands for, how RVs move America. The Congressman is also going to tell us a little bit about his RV history, what got him into RVs. Also, we're going to discuss about the RV industry and how the RV industry affects not only the state of Florida and Texas, but also the whole nation. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee, get you a bag of popcorn, and enjoy this interview. If you don't know exactly what the RV Caucus is, check out our website, MakingMemoriesRV.com. Look for us on Facebook, type Making Memories RV in the search bar, or just type Making Memories RV in Google, or ask Siri, MakingMemoriesRV.com. And to get access of all the latest and greatest information and relative things going on in the industry, not only in our local area of Texas, but also in the nation as a whole. Now let's tune in to the show.
Jace, you brought up a special guest.
Oh, yes, I did. We dug him all the way out of Washington, D.C. It's Congressman Ross. He's with the RV House Caucus, and definitely, I think he started all that. Are you there, Mr. Ross?
Yes, I am. How are you?
Well, welcome, Mr. Ross. John Easty here with Evergreen. We're just so glad you took some time out of your busy schedule right now to be on the show. And Jace was so excited about it, it's hard to keep him grounded. You know, he jumps around like a Mexican jumping bean. But, hey, we're so glad to have you on there. And, Jace, you got some things and get Mr. Ross going for us?
Well, it says that you are an avid RVer. I mean, when was your first RV, or what was your experience with that?
Probably the 1962 World's Fair in Seattle, Washington. I went with my grandparents as a 2-year-old, and then by the time I was 12, I had traveled to all 48 continental states in an RV with my parents and grandparents, and then my wife and I are on our 5th RV, and our boys who are now 26 and 24, by the time they were 12, they had been to all continental 48 states. And so we have made it a passion of ours to go and travel this country by way of RV, and can't think of anything better in order to see this beautiful country, but even more importantly, to see some of the most amazing people that are out there.
Great relationships you've made over the years, right?
Absolutely. Wonderful relationships. I mean, you know, for the kids, it was an opportunity for them to not only see national monuments, national parks, but to fish, to hike, to visit cities. I mean, we've just had a chance we would take time off. We were blessed enough to take 3 to 4 weeks off of summer when they were young and just go travel the country.
Wow.
Yeah. Also, I was going to ask you, I mean, how did you come up with the RV House Caucus? I guess maybe it's been around a while, but it says you established it, is what I was reading.
I got together with my colleague from Indiana, Congresswoman Jackie Walorski, and I found that 1/3 of the RVs are sold pretty much around my district in Florida, and most of them are built in her district in Indiana. These are American products. The industry has been around for forever. And it was a passion of mine because it has such an economic benefit to this country. You know, it fosters jobs and not only fosters opportunities for families, but it's a very solid industry. And we decided that we would say, you know what, let's expose our colleagues up here to probably one of the best forms of enjoyment of this country, and that's RVing. And so we did that, and we've grown. We continue to grow as a caucus with members of Congress now participating. The RV industry, the outdoor recreation industry have been very supportive and sponsors of our efforts. We host a reception for all the members, and we have a myriad of members that come from all over the country, members of Congress that come to our reception. It has done, I think, a very good job of raising the awareness of not only the benefits, but also the economic significance of this industry.
Yes, it says it's an $18 billion year industry.
$18 billion industry. That's pretty good. And $40 billion if you combine everything with the parks and the dealerships and all of that and the manufacturing and the rigs. Jace was telling us that this morning. That's a heck of a boost for the economy in this country all the way across.
And in today's social media world of electronic media, there's no better way to reconnect with your family than get in an RV and go see the country. I mean, it builds strong family relationships. It'll test them too, but it'll build them, and it'll make memories like you just can't get anywhere else.
Well, Representative Ross, another thing, too, we have different people come on the station and talk to us and speak to us, and there's so many people doing this full-time now and doing their businesses right out mileage out of their RV. Going across country, there's so many things they can do now as long as they can hook up Wi-Fi or hook up some way. And heck, they got their home away from home, but it's their business, and they travel across the country. And we're seeing a lot of that because we take care of a lot of those people when they come through New Braunfels, San Antonio area, because they come by and we take care of their rigs. But,
so have you actually read the bill that was proposed the other day in September, the S-1633?
You'll have to help me up on that one. Which one is that one?
That's the one for the RV. They're proposing it to Congress about accessing the outdoors for the military members and stuff. Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. And I apologize. I don't know by bill numbers, but I know them by the names.
I just found out about an hour ago. So
he's researching while we drive.
we first of all, the military bases have a wonderful opportunity because a lot of them have RV parks on them. I mean, I know the Keys do, MacDill Air Force Base in Florida, military bases throughout the country do, and a lot of them rent these to their service members. Many service members buy and use their RVs and take advantage of the military use of it. I tell you, let's go a step further and let's do public-private partnerships in our national parks so we can increase the number of RV visitors to our national treasures. I mean, this is something that I'm promoting very strongly that us in the caucus are doing. I was out in Yellowstone this summer and had a chance to meet with Dan Wenk, who's the director of Yellowstone National Park. They've got good public-private partnerships in their lodges. We're trying to get it even better for their RV parks because their infrastructure is antiquated. It's 50 years old. It can't handle the big rigs. It can't handle Wi-Fi. It can't handle a lot of the new modernizations of RVing, and that's unfortunate because these are tremendous treasures.
Yeah, some of the manufacturers, they don't put the length on the RV so they can get into the national parks. They don't put a little sticker on the side because it's like 35 feet is about the max.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of people come in and downsize so they can go to the parks. And
that's not right. I mean, that we can look. We do it in ski resorts. Ski resorts are on federal land, but private concerns lease that. They invest in the structures to put in the resorts and everything else, and the federal government makes wonderful money off of it. The consumer gets a great chance to ski in these wonderful forests. We've seen that we can do the same thing with lodges in most of our national parks. We need to be doing it with RVs. And Secretary Ryan Zinke and I have talked about this. He's a big supporter of that. I think you'll see us get to that level because there's a lot of companies out there in the private sector that want to have that investment. They want to be able to have the ability to have clientele, RVers, go into national parks and enjoy them and preserve its natural beauty. Conservation is number one, and there are no better conservationists than RV enthusiasts because we understand and respect the importance of that conservation of that treasure.
I was playing golf with a gentleman that's a big developer that does apartment complexes in the San Antonio area, and I said, well, are y'all still doing apartment complexes? No, we're looking into RV resorts and parks. Mm-hmm. And the one in New Braunfels, Texas was just bought, and it's a nice one, and they're spending $5 million on upgrades on it right now.
Yeah, I tried to get Randy to loan me that kind of money to get mine started, too, Representative Ross.
Yeah,
but the big businesses buying the RV sales departments, you see Camping World buying a bunch of them up. You're seeing the big money, seeing what's going to happen in the future, and they see that opportunity.
Yeah, and also, you know, because we've heard it for years about shovel-ready jobs, but this would be perpetual money if they upgraded the parking facilities and the RV stuff on the national parks. It would keep going on and on and on.
That's quick jobs. That's quick. They can have those things up and going pretty quick.
And they also in the bill they were talking about volunteers, having people volunteer to work the parks and stuff too, kind of like camp workers. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Work campers, and that's a big thing too, Representative Ross. There's so many people that go full-time, but they'll still work part-time in different parks and things like that at RV resorts. And so not only does it have a place to go and stay, it provides jobs. So all of this is a well-rounded, thought-out process.
Well, how's Florida doing after the hurricane now? It's been a little while. Is it recovering or?
We're recovering well. I mean, we were very prepared. You know, what you all experienced in Texas was a eye-opener to us that with Hurricane Harvey and the flooding over there. So we took heed to that, and we're very prepared. We had a lot of debris problems, but structurally we were good. I think the RV industry did very, very well, except for down in just north of Key West, where it just was a total disaster. But, you know, we were very blessed in Florida.
Well, you think you can work on getting an executive order on where every American is required to have an RV? Can you work on that one for us?
I tell you what, we're getting closer and closer to making that happen.
Make it a federal law. Yeah.
And just to let you know how much of an enthusiast I am, I have 7 full hookups in my backyard that I had installed.
Well, that's almost as much as us. We got 10 or 12, but we have an RV dealership.
Do you do bed and breakfast in your backyard? You can come, people can do it.
Now, where'd you say you live? We might
let's
come across and see you.
We just after the hurricanes, we had probably 4 trailers, RVs, 1 motorhome, stay with us because we never lost power, and so they came and stayed with us, and we were able to accommodate them. Which turned out great. I mean, it was a wonderful experience for everybody under the circumstances.
Yeah, and you noticed one thing too. People that reach out, a lot of times you got to reach down and help lift somebody up. And we did that too. We let some people use RVs that we had to use, and especially out of the Houston area. And because Rockport, that's where they got really hit down in Texas. Yeah, but reach down and lift them up and help them, show them there's somebody that really cares, and you won't find a better person to do that than an RV enthusiast.
That's exactly right.
I agree with you.
Yeah, the integrity of the American spirit is coming alive in these national tragedies right now. It's amazing.
Oh, it is absolutely amazing, and it doesn't care about party affiliation. It doesn't care about gender. It doesn't care about race. Everybody got together, and human compassion and the American spirit was at its best following these tragedies, and it's awesome to witness it, and it's even more awesome to be a part of it.
Well, we're looking forward to getting a chance to visit with you more too down the road. But we're excited what you're doing right there, especially the state of Florida too, because they got hit pretty good. And I was going to go back to one thing you said earlier, that the military bases have RV parks. First time I figured that out, my daughter had joined the Air Force, and she was over in Arkansas. She said, "Well, Dad, bring the RV and come on over." I said, "Really?" She said, "Oh yeah, you can stay right here on the base." And very reasonably set up, and it was nice. I had all the hookups and everything, and the cost was just minimal. But it really did, give you a chance to go and visit the kids if they're in the service. And now if we can spread more and more and get into these RV national parks, into the national parks, and expand them a little bit, because we've got, even some of the parks around here need a little work, and they're small.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to do that. Even our state parks need a little work.
And some state parks are doing a good job at that.
Yep.
Arkansas is doing a good job at that. Florida's doing a good job at that. They're investing in these in the RV industry in their state parks, and that's an example that we need to follow on the federal level.
Yeah, back to San Antonio is a military town. Back to the part with the veterans in this new bill. It says the benefits of outdoor recreation for physical and mental health. I was reading in there they're talking about 7 days of permissive temporary duty assignment to a national park. I mean, that sounds really therapeutic for these military members and our veterans. They need all the help they can get when they come back after all the battles.
And we owe it to them.
We do,
especially to be able to see these treasures. Again, we've been out to San Antonio. We stayed at an RV park there with the boys one time and visit the Alamo. We went over to Carlsbad Caverns just to go through that area and then work our way up through West Texas.
Did you go to that RV park in Carlsbad Caverns right there at the front?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
oh wow, that's
pretty neat.
That's a cool little park. I've been to that one. Yeah,
and
that was a wonderful one.
And we're preaching this to our customers and everybody else. You got to get away. Right now, all we hear is politics and good, mostly the bad, and everybody's trying to slam each other, and you get tired of it. And you come into a weekend, it's just a chance to unplug, get in the RV, and go rest up and see nature at its best, and really have a great time. So rest up and get away from the stressful things that we live in all the time around us.
Absolutely.
So we're preaching that every day.
Well,
and it works.
This year, I guess FEMA didn't go and buy FEMA trailers. They bought regular camping trailers, didn't they, to help people out?
Yes. And that was a big issue. The RV industry was being told that FEMA didn't want to buy regular trailers, that they wanted to buy the box trailers that don't have holding tanks and don't have that can't be used.
You couldn't sell them the last time. I was involved in buying some of those, and they wasn't they wasn't worth anything. They brought very little money. And what was really disappointing to me, some of the people that had opportunity to use them tore them up. And so the government took a big hit on where these can be fixed and resold, and if they tear them up.
There's an inventory of them.
Yeah, and I know one, then Dad's deal sell 45 at one time.
They sold, to the EPA, came in and bought 60, I think they bought in all, for the EPA to set up headquarters in Houston.
That's a great thing. What do you see for the future coming up? I think the RV business is continue to grow because people are now wanting to downsize. We talked to a man in Spur, Texas that's starting a subdivision of small, tiny houses, and I told him, I said, when your house is tiny is when your RV's bigger than your house. And so, but a lot of people are downsizing. I mean, taxes have got so high, a lot of people are paying $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 a year on a house on taxes that you're not going to get back.
And I think you're going to see more and more baby boomers as they retire are going to get into RVs and go and have a smaller house with a pad and a
RV hookup.
Yeah, exactly.
How many RV parks are in Florida, do you think?
Oh, my goodness.
Look at the number just calculating in his head.
Yeah, I imagine it's unbelievable. But, we started this show, our Making Memories RV, for two reasons. To let people know to make the right choice. I mean, if you can afford a new trailer, a new motor home, but you're going to take a big loss if you don't use it, number one. And in 2 or 3 years from now, if you're wanting to get rid of it, it's going to cost you a little money. That's why we're telling them get out and use them and make sure that they're using them. And before you know it, you get at an age where you haven't made any memories lately because, as you know, your sons have grown up. But it sounds like you're taking time to get with them and enjoy the time that you have with them now.
You going to do a nationwide tour in a motorhome or something promoting this RV Caucus?
No, I did a little one in August. We did 6,000 miles in 19 days. We did 6 presidential libraries and 4 national parks, which was a little ambitious. We were through Texas.
Wow.
It was great. We toured and we did a little blog. My wife did about what we're doing, and we met with some of the members of Congress along the way and showed them our RV and
what kind of RV you got?
I've got an American Coach, Allegiance. It's a 43-footer.
Yep.
A little bitty one, a little bitty one. Yeah, you just
500 horse.
So you got a tag axle then? Yeah. Wow, he has a big old motor. Hey, have you been in, was it Presidential One? Have you been in that motorhome or ever heard of that one they built for George Bush? Monaco did?
No, I have not. I wish I could. I would love to see that.
Yeah, they was bright red or something. Monaco built it for him.
Yes, Monaco did build. We used to be a big Monaco dealer before everything collapsed in 09. But we're so proud that it's coming back and excited everything's coming back. Boy, it's great. And, of course, our Vice President Pence from Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a great guy on your side, too, right there.
Oh, very much so. He's a big supporter of the industry because it's part of their economic engine in Indiana.
Oh, it's big.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Elkhart.
Yeah, RVs Move America. That was the hashtag and everything in July, which is how I found out about all this. I actually emailed one of your assistants and asked how I could join the RV Caucus, and she emailed me back. She said those are for congressmen.
But you need to come up here when we have our reception next summer.
Yeah, let's plan on it.
There you go, Mr. Easty. Paid vacation. Tax deductible.
In fact, we have Chase really pushing RVs all the time. He keeps moving them around the lot a lot.
I love it. Love it.
Do you campaign out of your bus?
I haven't needed to. I'm more than prepared to. Our district is not that big. I can cover it in about an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
I just haven't had to. But
we've got a small RV you could use.
Yeah, a little retro.
Big one.
We have little retros. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get you in a tiny one. I have a little tiny Viva that I keep around the house, plus the bigger one we do, because we take Mom and Dad in all the time. They're 93 each, been married 73 years. I guess that marriage is going to last. But, they look forward to it when we take them. These guys rib me all the time. Well, did you take Mom and Dad out? And they do
he takes them back to the nursing home after hours when it's closed. They have to sneak in through the windows and stuff.
But with the RV, it's perfect for that because they love to go out. And then you can take them and do sightseeing, but it has a restroom in it. It has the potty in there, so they'll go. And then we pull into them. We give Cracker Barrel a lot of credit here. We'll pull in there and go get some food to go and bring it out to the RV, and they don't have to get out and get in a wheelchair to get in the house.
Nice.
Oh, it's a really great way. We met more friendly people. Of course, we always say that about RVers. They're the friendliest people.
So this is the
on the
recreation, not red tape. Is there anything not red tape in Washington, D.C.? I don't understand the...
Not really.
How are they going to pull this off? There's no red tape with this one, huh?
When Jace told me that, I said, you know what we need to do? We need to start producing and selling red tape.
On all the RV, you're going to put red tape sale.
Oh, great.
Well, I mean, it sounds good if we can get the $2 trillion tourism industry to $3 trillion. You will have accomplished a lot in the next year.
Everybody will be doing good if we can do that.
Yeah.
Yes, because recreation money is discretionary income, and the people, it's just price points, and that's what they just go and blow money on. Entertainment, traveling. Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of fun.
Well, like we say, the big guys are buying into it every way they can. They're buying other RV dealerships, and they're buying all the camping areas, and they're redoing them, and they're building them. I mean, locally around ours, a bunch of them has been sold in this area, and they're all spending big money to fix them up and enlarge, because I have an employee of mine that decided on Memorial Day he was going camping with his 5-year-old son, but he waited till about Thursday to get him a trailer spot for Friday night, and that didn't work. All of them were full.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, around San Antonio and New Braunfels, So he ended up camping in his driveway.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Hey, at least he had the experience, right?
Yeah.
Got the young man out and did that. We see a lot of people do these now. Instead of putting just tiny houses in the backyard, if they can get the city to let them do it, they'll put a little trailer in the back. You know, those little Airstreams are popular for that, too. It becomes a little guest house out back. You go camping in your backyard.
Yep. I've got a 1960 Airstream that my grandfather bought brand new that I've restored that I've got in the backyard.
Well, you're really an enthusiast. I tell you, I'm glad that Jace found you. That's
well, just
fantastic.
to let I know, I didn't realize he was.
And it was perfect.
Yeah, that was optional talking about his RV experience on what I asked him to talk about. Definitely.
You know, you started in 62. I started in 61 as a youngster because my parents took an old school bus, 48 passenger school bus, and we made it into an RV.
Didn't you live at Woodstock, Mr. Easy? Is that where your family?
I take a lot.
That's
just outside of Detroit where I grew
that was
up.
Randy that went to Woodstock. Randy's the one that went to Woodstock.
All my friends did.
And Randy burned all those pictures. But we went all over that Midwest area in those parks. Because state parks back then were, we didn't have a restroom in ours. Had all the bunks and refrigerators and all that kind of stuff, but not the restroom facilities. So all the state parks had that.
I noticed there's no Texas congressmen or senators on this RV caucus. Is that true? Or?
We're going to get them on there.
So all our listeners need to contact. I'm going to put a link on makingmemoriesrv.com and on our Facebook.
They must be rhinos, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll call Mr. Cruz up. Yeah, see what he's doing.
My good friend Roger Williams from up there in Fort Worth has a big coat. He's got a 45-footer, he told me, so I'm going to get him on the caucus.
We know Roger Williams. You can mention my name, John Eastie, because I used to serve with him. He worked down here quite a bit with us with our TRVA.
So we need to.
What a great guy.
Everybody needs to promote and contact their congressmen and senators and stuff like that to get this RVs rolling down the road. Definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And also, there's a lot of schools going on right now for people fixing RVs and also for inspecting. And both of that is really good. Young people looking for something to do. They don't want to go to college. That's a great career. And a lot of them can work out of their own van or pickup while they're doing all of it.
Well, there's millennials doing it day in and day out around here in all these colleges around Texas.
In fact, Dennis, you'd love this. We couldn't find techs. It's really hard to find good qualified techs. So we contacted schools around here, and they've sent us one young man. Now we got two young men as trainees and apprentice learning the trade. And, we're real excited about being able to do that. And we're helping them learn that kind of trade. So there is a big business right there. There's a lot of stuff, and we're busy all the time with service. So
what are the goals in the future of the RV Caucus for America?
Well, what we hope to do is get every member of Congress to join, and then we got to make sure every member of Congress owns an RV. And if we've done that, we've done our job. But we want to make sure that in all seriousness, we want to make sure that we have legislation out there that promotes the industry, promotes involvement, encourages families to go out and enjoy the outdoors by way of the RV industry. And we're working at it. We're doing pretty good at it. Like I said, we've been able to work with the Interior Secretary, Ryan Zinke, who's very supportive of what we're doing and is a great national parks person himself. So, we're trying to really raise the awareness of the industry and the beautiful jewels that this country has in our national parks and our natural resources.
Well, that's awesome. Definitely,
yeah. Not only do we want to reach across the river, reach across the parks, reach across the neighborhood and shake their hands, we want to reach across the aisle. So you tell everybody up there in Congress, come on down here. We'll help them find a good deal on an RV if they can't find it close to home.
Well, and I tell you,
there's no partisanship in this. We're all together, Republicans and Democrats.
They love to travel and get away.
I think that once you hit an RV park, I think the people get back to the old way of discussing things and not getting opinionated or get offended. You can get around a campfire and talk to everybody that's in the camping area, and they get along and they agree. And if you don't agree, well, then they don't worry about it. But it seems like you get into other places. My opinion's my God, and if you don't like my opinion, I'm gonna call you names and cuss you out.
Yeah, you don't see that in RV
no,
parks.
You don't see that.
You just don't do it. Now, people can agree or disagree, but they still love one another when they leave the driveway.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well,
good.
I think we've come to an end on this conversation. We'll contact you again, and we'll be in touch.
Look forward to it. Keep me posted.
We'll do it.
Thank you guys for what you're doing.
Yeah, we appreciate you,
I will.
too.
Yeah, thank you, Representative Ross.
Thank you,
Yes,
Ross. Thank you, sir. Okay,
well, that was a great interview. I enjoyed it, learned a lot. I'm glad to see somebody in Washington is working in that direction